Comment the number 8 for my free guide for the 8 mindset shifts to become unstoppable. All right, what's going on? So go ahead and just drop a fire in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a fire in the chat if you can hear me. How we doing? It's going to be a quick, I'm going to try to keep it 8 minutes or less. So just drop a fire in the chat if you can hear me and comment 8, and then you'll get my free guide for how to create a sustainable change. Okay, you can hear me? All right, cool. Yeah, I'm outside of nature if you hear the dogs barking and whatnot. But let's get started. So, good morning, uncle. I'm definitely not an uncle, at least not yet. All right, cool. Yeah, just drop a comment in 8 and it's gonna be sent to your DM. Because today we're gonna talk about how your mindset and identity could be holding you back. This is one of the hidden gaps that prevents people from leveling up in life, mentally, physically, emotionally, okay? So the first thing is, think of what is your identity. So this is essentially your self-perception, meaning how you perceive yourself against the world around you. And a lot of the times, like for example, I can use my personal story. A lot of my clients who are like former athletes, or like let's say you're so caught up in your identity at work, right? So one of the main things is to understand is, if that is your identity, that is essentially what your value system, how you make decisions. So, for example, track and field was my identity back in high school and college. So all my decisions was based off of, is this what a track person would do, right? And so for a lot of you who may be parents, is this what a mom or a father would do, right? So you want to think about, does health and fitness fit in the picture? Or is that part of your identity? Because if it's not, then there's no wonder why it's hard to stay consistent with exercise, eat well, take care of your cortisol, your stress levels, right? Because that's not how you perceive yourself. And it's not entirely your fault, because a lot of us were raised with parents and caretakers, teachers who never put an emphasis on health, well-being. So think of it like this. If you were going through life and no one put a strong emphasis on good nutrition, what to eat, how much you should eat, without feeling guilty or shame. Exercise where you're not beating yourself up when you don't exercise, right? Or even exercise where you're not doing it to punish yourself because you ate bad. So drop a fire in the chat if this is making sense so far. And if you haven't already, comment 8 and you're gonna get my guide. What's going on? Comment 8 in the chat and you're gonna get a DM with my free guide teaching you the 8 mental shifts to become unstoppable. Not just physically, emotionally, spiritually as well. Because if you think about it, everything is connected to your thoughts and your emotions. The habits and actions you do on a day-to-day basis, a lot of it is unconscious. You're not thinking about it, you just do it. Wish I came earlier. Oh, for sure. That's usually what my clients say when they join, like, where the fuck you been all my life? Right? Because you guys see it, like all the things out there where, what? So we have some randoms in here. That kind of happens when you have a platform where these are detractors, that's what we call them, where they detract from the message by giving you random bullshit like that. But anyways, carrying on. So, mindset, okay? Your mindset and identity is going to affect what you do consistently. What you do is going to affect what? Your outcomes. So, think of it like this. What is the beliefs that you believe about yourself or the area around you or the people that you're with that is impacting what you do consistently? So someone just drop in the comments. Let's do like a quick coaching session, right? So drop in the comments what thought or emotion that stops you from either working out or eating. Like, what is the things you're saying to yourself? I'm going to show you exactly how I coach my clients. Because if you get to the root of your beliefs and your emotions, then what's going to happen is you're able to transform your life quicker, faster, and easier than you ever thought before. It's kind of like building a house without a foundation. I'm too tired. Okay, so here's how we're gonna handle I'm too tired. So this is the paradox, right? You go to work, you come home, you're too tired to exercise, but you know that exercise is gonna give you more energy. Then you're like, well, okay, what the fuck can I do? Because I don't have the energy to exercise, but I know I should exercise. Or it's, oh shit, I just have no energy to eat right and I want to cook, so let me just go order something convenience. And then what happens? You have decision fatigue, so then you just order what's the quickest convenience foods. You go on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and because your mind is already fatigued, you didn't plan ahead of time, what do? You probably order foods that aren't aligned with your goals, right? And why is that happening? Because that's a mental and identity issue. Because you haven't figured out what would the type of person who does eat consistently despite how they feel, what would they do in this situation? So for example, I'll give you an example the other day. So I didn't have any food defrosted or anything like that. So what did I do? I was like, shit, okay. I don't want to eat McDonald's or Burger King or Taco Bell or anything like that. What can I do? So Mediterranean food, great. Persian food, Caribbean food, right? Things that have whole foods. And then you can make better choices. Like for my clients, they get a restaurant hat guide. But why does it work? It isn't because I'm Houdini and I'm making them like become a magician to figure shit out. It's like you're equipped with the identity of what would someone who is the healthiest, happiest, loves themselves, pour into themselves, what would they do in this situation? And then you act accordingly. That's literally how life happens. So if you're acting outside of your best interest, what you know you should do, is nothing wrong with you. It's just the way that you think about yourself or the situation and how your emotions are actually tied into that. I'm glad I follow you. No, for sure. I appreciate that. Let me get to these other questions. I hope that answered that one. That I can't keep it up for long. Okay, so if you can't keep up what you're doing for long, so more of self-worth and self-esteem. 100%, couldn't have said it better myself. How you treat yourself is a direct reflection. It's going to hurt some people. How you treat yourself is a direct reflection of how you see yourself, right? So if you treat yourself like shit, there's something internally where you see yourself like shit. And that's like the tough pill to swallow. This is how I had to. It's like the hardest thing no one wants to tell you is like, if you're treating yourself consistently like shit, like for example, I work with a bunch of moms. And for some reason in society, we program a lot of moms to say, if I sacrifice myself 100% for the people I care about, that is a good thing, right? I even see this with my mom, my grandmother, my aunts, right? So I see it comes from a good place, like nurturing. That's a beautiful thing. However, sacrificing to yourself of deterioration where you're burning yourself out consistently, it doesn't help you or the people you care about, right? And that's the whole mindset thing, is a belief. So how do we change that belief? Which is, the belief is, I'm not able to pour into myself and take care of my people I care about, right? So that's the belief. That's the underlying belief. So then how do we dismantle that belief? So comment 8, you're going to get my guide. It's going to show you how to like shift your mind. So what I do with my clients is one-to-one conversations, which is a little bit more easier than me communicating at this scale. But let's get back to the topic. How do you dismantle that belief? Let's think of this bottle, right? So let's say this bottle is filled all the way up. And then this is you. The bottle is your energy. The bottle is how you take care of yourself. And then let's say you're pouring into a whole bunch of cups. Let's say your kids, your work, your family, you're just pouring. And then the water's gradually declining, right? Now what happens when you have this much left? What happens? Someone comment. So like, let's say you have people who are dependent on you, work, family, your relationships, but you're not pouring back into yourself. Someone drop in the comments, what happens if you consistently forget to pour back into yourself? You're done. Finito. You become weak. Okay. R.I.P. Okay. Yeah. You deplete. You're tired. Okay. Yeah. So here's what you want to do. Is understand, like you hear people in the airplanes. You have to put on your mask before you put the mask on someone else. That's a good analogy for life. You have to pour into your cup, even if it's a small capacity, so that you can pour from a full glass bottle versus something like you're going to do yourself a disservice and the people. And what is that? An identity shift. You drain yourself and get burnt out, for sure. Super fatigued, for sure. Yeah. How much is your program is what I meant, sorry. So that's a case-by-case scenario. Think of like going to a doctor's office, right? And imagine the doctor said, all right, I'm looking at you, here's a couple pills, take it. Go buy the pills. Like, would you feel like that doctor really gave a fuck about you and actually took into account your situation, your lifestyle, what you've been through, your past, your present, your goals? No, there's no full assessment. So what I do is pretty similar. We have a full 15-minute discovery where we discover where you're at, who you are today, how you've been and where you're going, and create a blueprint. So then if you apply, then we can create a customized case-by-case scenario. So what I do is a holistic system. It's a mind and body transformation where we take a look at your mental, emotional, hormonal, meaning like your stress, sleep, cortisol, all of that great stuff, and then accountability. So if that's what you're interested in, you just DM me the word elevate, and I'll probably get back to you in the next couple of days. But we don't, there's no like button to click. Like, I'm not here to just sell, here's a quick workout program or meal plan. That doesn't really do you any justice, because you didn't do the mental shift. You didn't understand your entire environment. So there's a lot more nuance to it, which is why I don't just say, here's a price, go buy my shit. Because everyone doesn't need to work with me. I'm not able to help everyone. And if it's not aligned, there's no point in moving forward. I hope that answers your question. You're phenomenal. I appreciate that. That burnout leads to not taking care, for sure. Yeah, and if you want a full breakdown, just comment 8. It's a free guide to show you. It's just tip of the iceberg of the mental shifts, because a lot of it is hidden in your subconscious. So do I need to go into detail of what the subconscious mind is and conscious? So just drop a fire in the chat if you're aware of the subconscious and conscious mind. Let me know. Free guide is crazy. Okay, you like it? Yeah. And that's the thing. I like to make my free content, like if you scroll, like I had people lose body fat by just watching my free content and getting my guides. And then they wanted more structure and they wanted more accountability and a system, an easy system that fits into their life, that personalized approach. So then they work with me and my team, right? So my thing is, I want my free stuff to be better than everyone else's paid stuff. So it's a no-brainer decision once you get on a call with us. It's like, you know what? I mean, yeah, I can get some results, but I just love your vibe. Or yeah, I can get some results, but I just need someone to just break it down stupid simple, so I don't have to put it all together, all that overwhelming information. And then that's when people usually decide to like say like, okay, let me apply. But that's only if like you're in that mental state where you're saying like, I'm ready to commit to myself, at least 70%. All right, cool, beautiful. 8, free guide is crazy. Love that approach. Making time balance. Yeah. Making time balance. Okay. So someone just dropped another question. I think I answered the ones that you guys asked about mindset and identity and how that holds you back. Whether that's procrastination, inconsistency, decision fatigue, fear of failure, fear of success. What are the other ones I've come across with clients? Fear of being judged by their family member or who they're in a relationship with. So if any of those resonate, just drop it in the chat and I'll go into more detail for you. Otherwise, I'm about to hop off. It's a beautiful day, as you can see. Getting in that sunlight. Highly recommend you get at least 30 minutes daily. At least. And if you're in like a super cold area, get your vitamin D3, K2, MK4. That's a perfect supplement for you. But nothing beats natural sunlight. No more questions? All right, I'll give you about 30 seconds to comment 8, and then I'll hop off. So you got 25 seconds to comment 8 for the free guide teaching you the mental shifts to become unstoppable, physically, mentally, emotionally, and even financially. So like over the years, I've had, MK4. So K2 is a supplement. There's a MK7, and then there's a MK4. MK4 is the best. So all supplements are not created equally. So go ahead, and if you haven't already, comment 8. I'm about to hop off here. I hope this live was helpful for you. I'm going to try to go on live a couple times more per week and just kind of give you the feel of what it would look like to potentially get to the next level, right? Because there's a lot of misinformation online where people give you strict diets. They push the Ozempics, the diet detox teas, waist trainers, crazy workout plans that only work for like a month or so before you burn out or get injured. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you who've seen the fitness industry evolve, you've seen how much bullshit has been pushed onto the population. And what I like to do is just take it in a holistic angle where you heal internally first, and then your external is a reflection of that. Because otherwise, if you do it backwards, you just do a bunch of things and then you get your goal, you never stick to it. Why? Because you didn't make the mindset and identity shift. You didn't regulate your hormones and your nervous system. Right? All right. Understand Lionhearted Lifestyle is about evolving and elevating to your best self. You take that one day at a time. If you have other questions, just shoot me a DM and I'll get to you within the next 48, 72 hours. I know I'm backed up from the weekend. For those of you who are looking for like the guides and to apply to my program and whatnot, If you have other questions about that, just shoot me a message. We'll chop it up. Ciao.